All right, welcome to the studio. And let's see what we got today. We have Logic, we have a keyboard, and what are we going to do? We're going to do some epic drum programming. Yes, epic, like boom, big. And one thing you should think about when you're working is you should have days where you just do a certain set thing and then you save it for later. It's kind of like being a prep cook, where you're prepping out an idea that you're going to shelve, you're going to kind of table it for another time. And I do this often with drum programming. I have the intention at some point of writing a very rhythmic piece, yet in the spirit of time management, I'm working on other things that are more pressing. So this is my break time. And during my break time, if I'm writing a lot of classical music, I tend to like to write a lot of kinetic, just electronic, whatever music. And I realized I hadn't done any epic drum programming with Stormdrums 2 in a really long time. So Stormdrums 2 is an East-West product, and we're going to see if it's loading into our system today. So we're going to go to East-West, and we're going to go to Opus. And I'm sure I might get prompted by the software to update it. In this case, no. We're going to open up Stormdrums 2, and we're going to open up Zen, and we're going to go through some of these. We're going to open up brush percussion, which sounds like this. And again, not my preferred keyboard to program on for drums. Everything else, sure, but I don't like using weighted keyboards for that. But that's what we have today, so that's what we're going to use. So again, one of the things I love about Stormdrums is they sound great out of the box. They're very well recorded, and there's all kinds of different ensembles. So we have Middle Earth. Let's see what that is. If you've heard any Hollywood movie in the last 30 years, 25 years, they've been using these. So obviously, very velocity dependent. Some nice rolls. So one of the things about programming drums, picking the right drum and using it rhythmically in the right context is really, really important. So bigger drums generally are better for longer note values, whereas shallower drums are better for faster, more subdivided ideas. So here, and of course, let's talk about how to start. So I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to take a look at, make sure we're looking at the right screen. Oh, we are. Okay. So first thing I'm going to look at is meter. Meter does matter. And 4/4 is always our default. And sometimes I like to start in 7/8 because that's kind of an interesting idea. And then I always do this. I always slow everything down. Now, if you're experienced as a drum programmer, you may have a lot of ideas in your head and you just want to get them out. But if you're not that experienced drum programming, you may want to use a helper program to get you to where you want to go. So I'll talk about that maybe in another video, maybe in this video. I'm not really sure. I'm just feeling pretty spontaneous today, so I want to get this out. So I'm going to start. I'm going to start with our click track. I'm going to open up the session window, and I'm going to mirror the click in the main window. And then I'm going to turn the click down. And I'm going to go back to the front, and I'm going to start. We get the count off, and you'll notice I'm not doing anything. Okay, and notice I had a very relaxed kind of way of going through it. I wasn't worried too much about the outcome per se. I was just kind of focusing more in on the vibe of what I wanted to do. I'm going to do some quick programming or some quick quantizing, not too much. And I'm going to take this idea, move it up to bar 1, and then I'm going to loop it, just like so. And now, because I'm feeling a little lazy, I'm going to just duplicate that instrument. And I'm going to focus on some of the higher pitched drums. Here we go, with subdivision at the forefront of my head. All right, we've got that. We're going to go in and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get rid of our metronome. We're going to start from the beginning, and this time we're going to speed things up just a little bit. And we're going to open up giant beats display. There we go. And let's speed things up a little bit. Let's turn things down a little bit, and let's see what we have. Now I want to add another texture in. And this time I'm going to, again, feeling lazy, not using multi-timbral mode, but using more, just another instance. I'm going to focus in on the metals because metals are fun. And what's going on here? Don't show me that again. It's wanting me to update. So let's talk about the higher pitched things. And we got a lot of them here. We've got action melody. We've got break drums are great. So let's play around with some of these. You can also use the hang drum. That's pretty tonal. And that's okay, so we're not going to use that. Got triangles. Lots of choices here, jeez. Metal bridge. Very reverberant. So metal objects are great. I like these, so we're going to take these for a try. Now, in the spirit of keeping things manageable, we're going to slow down, and as we listen, we're just going to allow ourselves to kind of feel the idea of what's happening in terms of the rhythmical character of what we're programming. So we're just going to listen a little bit. All right, and there's interesting things there. So let's save our work, go back. Let's take another look. All right. So we're going to try something different for a quantizing value. We're going to do a bit of a swing on this, and we're going to speed it up, and we're going to see how it sounds. Okay, so everything is starting to sound cool, but there's a few things we need to do to ensure that we keep it cool. So what we're going to do, so the problem with quantizing is you kind of lose the humanistic feel. Things can really sound robotic, so you have to actually rehumanize things. And so we're going to do that with the humanize function. And we're going to set a humanize function for a pretty high value. And we're going to select and operate, and this is going to change the whole character of that kind of higher pitched percussion sound. So let's. All right, now that we have that, we're going to use automation in a very kind of creative way. We're going to take the delay designer in Logic, and we're going to program in an aux track. We're going to make sure we have the aux track in the main window, so let's do that first. Take the aux track, create track, and we're going to call this the delay. We're going to turn this up, and we're going to create some very subtle tempo shifts by putting a really tight note value on the delay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to automate this bus. So we're going to go into latch automation mode, and we're going to actually gradually bring this in and out of this particular timbre. You'll hear it. So I'll stop talking about it and I'll just do it. Here we go. Not bad. So again, if we take a look at the automation, hopefully it captured that. Let's open up the automation. It did good. So we have now the automation. So let's work on mixing this a little bit. And we're going to actually take I'm going to actually just use Space Designer for this, nothing fancy, but I'm going to use a gated idea on the reverb. So we're going to use gated chamber. Let's see how we can get this to sound. So we're going to effectuate this now. And that's really easy. So this idea, so what should you do first? Should you do drums first or should you do them last? I think if you're writing an epic chase or you're writing any kind of thing that involves full orchestration, write the drums first, because how you write the drums, the rhythm is going to influence the rest of the arrangement. So the rhythm's going to really allow you to write or affect how you write the strings. For example, if you're using string ostinatos, it's going to really affect that in a very heavy-duty way. And you're going to be inspired to do more interesting things rhythmically with the string part than you would if you didn't have the drums there. It's like the concept of having a band with a great rhythm section, having an orchestra with a great rhythm section, especially for chase music. So this is tonight's tutorial. Hopefully this helps, folks. Have a great evening.